Hey designers, here we go. This is a very simple assignment I give to my Applied Graphic Arts 15 kids every semester. And if I teach grade 9 media courses, I always try to throw this in as well as prep for AGA 15. So if you've done this before, it should be easy, a refresher for you, which is great. And if not, then this is an introduction to Photopea. We have this toolbox on the left-hand side. We've got the typical file, edit, image menu across the top, and then a toolbar. So when you select tools, this will change. It's going to be context sensitive. On this, okay. On this side, we have the layers palette, which is really, really important. Very important. And down at the bottom, there's a bunch of little icons here that we'll get into, and those are very important as well. We'll use those all the time. So what I'm trying to do is create this image that just has a bar across it, just a rectangular shape. And then I'm going to add my name with a little contrast, and then I'm going to add some brush work just to make it interesting, okay? I'll add some details in afterwards as well. So in this case, we're going to start a new project. So I can either go File, New, or click the New Project button right here. What I have is some choices here. I'm going to go with Print for this assignment. And let's just do a letter 8.5 by 11 inches. So typical Xerox paper, right? But I'm going to switch. So I don't want it to be a portrait orientation. I want it to be a landscape orientation. So I'll click this little button, click, and I'm going to drop this down. I really don't need 300 dpi. 200 even might be, enough. Let's just go with 150. Let's cut that in half, 150 dpi. And DPI stands for dots per inch, so the number of dots per inch on my screen. And then I'm going to click Create right here. Click. Boom. So there's my stage right there. And the idea is that I'm going to control the viewer's eye. You're going to see this bright, kind of flashy brushwork, and then they're going to follow along my rectangle to my name. So it's kind of a left to right progression here. Fingers crossed. Here we go. So the first thing I want to do is lay out my rectangle. Typically, I don't want the rectangle to be right in the center of my stage. I'm gonna either lift it up a little bit higher or a little bit lower. But I'm gonna see if I can change the color first. So these two swatches here are color swatches. There's the foreground color, there's the background color, and I'm gonna click this white swatch, and I'm gonna choose a color. So I kind of like this blue, this shade right here. So I'm going to click OK. Once and I have to click in here too. I just want to make sure that it shows up here. So this is the previous color. This is the color I'm going to, and I'll click OK. And then I'm going to select my rectangle tool right here. And there's a lot of tools here. We're not going to get into all of them. I don't know, maybe half of them. But I'm going to click the rectangle tool. Notice there's a little triangle here, a little arrow. If I click and hold, it will give me other shapes here. But today, it's going to be the rectangle. So maybe I'll make a rectangle. I'll go above, something like that. I noticed that I've gone right off the stage, and that's okay. Hey, that's not the color I chose. Oh, that's up here. So I'm going to click that and then click the color swatch. And I could go in and do the same thing, or I can just go down and say, hey, this is the color I wanted, and click right there. Or I could click the background here, or, different thing. You get the picture. I'm going to click right there, because that's the color that I originally did. Yeah. Okay. So don't forget that. It's up here. Now, once I've got that in place, I can click my Move tool. And I can move this around if I want. I can go up to Edit, Free Transform, and I could scale this down. So if I made it a little too big or a little too small, I can scale it. And I scale it by grabbing that little handle right there. That's a resize handle right there. And I'm going to hit the check mark. Can't do anything else unless I do that. Check. Next step, I'm going to select the type tool here. So hit the T and come on. So this is where you have to have patience sometimes. There we go. It's loaded. The font is loaded. Maybe I didn't click on the stage. I'm not sure. But down here, I'm just going to change this. I could click and change it to black, but if I click, see those two little black and white squares right there? If I click that, it will go to the default colors, which is black and white. Now I've got my font face or my typeface set to black. I'm going to type my first name, Robert. Ready to go. Robert right there. I'm going to do a Control A to select it all and increase this point size. Something like that. And notice that I can move it. So I'll move it down here. I can also click my move tool and move it around. A little more precise that way. I'm going to select my type tool again, and I'm going to click and I'm going to type Wallace. But this time I'm going to go all caps for contrast, right? Contrast. And I could have made a better choice. It was the default font face. There's a whole bunch in here. You make that choice, but I want to have contrast. So what I really want to do is make these two look different, either in weight or in just style. I'll use that term, style. I can actually go right in here, and I could go, oh, well, I'll go bold. There we go. And there, boom, got bold type. Okay. So here's the deal. I want your name on the right-hand side. Right-hand side, just like that. Lovely. Perfect. It's sitting on my rectangle. Great. Sitting on my rectangle. Now I'm going to do some brush work. And I'm going to get the brush tool, which is right here. And when you click it, you'll get a different toolbar here. That little drop down, that triangle, means it opens. And there are a few brushes in here, but not a lot. What I want you to do is click the triangle, and I want you to load a brush. Now, I've shared the folder with a whole bunch of brushes, but you're going to have to download these brushes to your computer in order to use them. Or you're going to have to go online and find your own. I like this person, whoever Axe Writer is, but there's a whole bunch in here that, Winter Breeze. Unfortunately, you can't see what they look like. If it's a good design, they'll include a little JPEG image of the different brushes. But in this case, the person doesn't. So I'm going to select one. Boop, I'll select one, and I'm going to click open. And then it says, yeah, it's going to add it, and it'll store it in local storage. So next time it should be there. It might not, but you know how to load brushes now. And when I hit the drop down again, I can see, oh, there's some brushes right there. Those are the ones that I just loaded. So I'm just going to select one of the brushes. Maybe I'll try that one right there. Oh, hey, that's kind of cool. I'm going to change the color though, and my color choice, I'm going to go opposite on the color wheel. And I'm going to go with something like an orange, because blue and orange, yeah, something like that. They're somewhat opposites, right? So hopefully the punch out. The problem though is I don't want to hit this, because if I do, it's going to say this text layer must be rasterized first. Rasterized? No, do not do that. The power here is that this layer is editable. So if I misspelled my name, I can edit it. So you need to make sure that you have a new layer. Down here, this little, looks like a piece of paper with a fold at the corner. Click that, and you have a new layer right there. You can actually double click on the word, and I'm going to call this brush 1. You need to keep your layers ordered so that you can stay organized. Trust me, you will produce stuff in Photoshop with like 20, 30 layers. And if you don't organize yourself, It's a time burden. Anyway, back to this brush layer. And I know I'm on that layer because it's selected. Okay, make sure that you've selected the layer you're going to paint on. And all I'm going to do is just click. Yeah, that's not bad. I don't mind that at all. I could click and drag, but with this kind of brush, I'm just going to do a single click. And I'll leave that alone. I'm going to add a new layer. And this one is going to be brush 2, and then I'll find a different brush. Find a different brush. What was that? Oh, that's kind of interesting. But I'll find a different color. Maybe I'll try that color right there. And on my new layer, I'm going to hit the drips like that. Now, I know it does look like it's blue on blue. Come on, Mr. Ross, but I'll fix that up. Trust me, I'll fix it up. I'll even move it down. So I'm going to move it behind the other brush. I'll try that just for now. And then I'll create another brush. And I'm going to have 3 brushes. You need at least 2 brushes. I'm going to go with, that's not bad. I'm going to go with 3. There we go. And this time I'm going to paint with white. So I'm going to swap these 2 colors. See that little arrow, double-ended arrow? Is that what you call it? A line with 2 arrows on it? It just swapped the colors. Just swap them. And with this, I got to make sure I got a new brush layer. The reason you want to do that, now it seems like a lot of layers, is that you can now move this. So I hit the move tool, and I can move this individual brush around if I don't like where it was placed. Right? I can go to this layer and I go, you know what? I'm going to move this. I'm going to crop this right about there. And then with this one, I'm just going to move it over a little bit like that. And then even this, the blue brush layer, maybe I'll bring that up a little bit. Now keep in mind that I don't want you to paint from top to bottom, left to right. I want kind of like a tight blob, and then the bar, and then your name. So don't go painting like a maniac. Please don't do that. What I'm going to do with this layer, though, is the brush 3 layer. I can hide it too. Yeah. I'm going to go down here to Effects, and I'm going to try a drop shadow. And I'm just going to move this out of the way and see what the drop shadow looks like. You can actually click right on the stage and move the drop shadow around, and you can see what's happening in my little pop-up window here. So that's not bad. I like that. So what the drop shadow does is it adds contrast, and it actually kind of pops up that design right there. And if you don't like it, you can hit that triangle and actually just drag and drop to the trash. Boom. Maybe I'll put a drop shadow on this one instead. Drop shadow. Boom. That's better. I kind of like that, actually. That works out well. Okay, so now I've got this kind of abstractish, weird blob of brushes that draw the eye from left to right over to Robert Wallace. With this brush, I could bring this down if I want. Right? I could bring it down, bring it up. Yeah, and if I drag it and drop it behind the blue brush and the orange brush, then it totally disappears. It's like I'm cropping it off. Kind of like that. Not bad. Another thing you could do, you could put a drop shadow and stroke around this rectangle for more contrast. Yeah, drop shadow, similar drop shadow, but I could also click on stroke. And now I don't want red. I actually want white. I'm going to go with white, and I'm going to increase the size of my stroke just a little bit. And as you can see, if I deselect, now it's got a little bit of a highlight there, and then the drop shadow. Yeah. With my typography, I can place it on top of my rectangle. And what I did there was I selected my Robert layer, and then I did a shift click for Wallace, or control click. And now I can move these 2 at the same time. I could bring them down like that, kind of set it in. I could bring it right inside and have that rectangle surround my typography, or I could leave it like that. I'm going to go into view, view. I forget how to view in this. Like zoom in, view, zoom in. Oh yeah, this is the shortcut, Control plus. So Control plus, the Control plus on your keyboard to zoom in, and that way I can just kind of align these things a little bit better. Yeah, yeah. And I could also align them here too. See that? Align bottom edges. Did that work out? That worked out better. There we go. Now they're sitting on the same plane. Good. So there. Not too bad. I like that actually. Whew. Yeah. So then I would make sure I go File, Save as PSD. PSD stands for Photoshop Document. They even stole the extension. Anyway, you're going to save that to your drive somewhere, and then you're going to do me a favor, and what you're going to do is you're going to go File, and you're going to export out as a JPEG. Export out as a JPEG. For today, just upload the JPEG for me, okay? I trust that you'll have 2 to 3 layers of brush. I trust that you'll have a rectangle layer and your first name and last name with some contrast. So upload the JPEG for me. So you need to go export as a JPEG. And then make sure the quality is all the way up there. I know it's a very simplistic, low color image, but we want the best we can get, right? So bump that right up to 100%. Click Save and upload that one to Classroom for me, okay? Yeah, sure. I'm going to save it right here. I'm going to call this I can't remember what I called this assignment. Name design. Name design. Oops. Right there. Name design. No, I don't want name design. This is what I want you to do. Make sure that your first and last name is on there. Good. Boom. Save. Now you're done. Now you can upload that to Google Classroom for me. I'd appreciate it. Yeah. I hope this was helpful. Next time.